going to do a walkthrough of Luella Lake outpost camp with Mattice Lake outfitters. There was 5 of us here at the camp. 3 of those guys there, 1 in the middle. We question it. My close buddy, 2 professional fishermen, non-pro fishermen, Jay Sharon. We had 3 boats, 14-foot Lunds with Cinovo engines. First I've ever heard of them. They ran okay. They got us what we needed to do. The lake is, I think we would all agree, it's a lake trout lake. We found them. Jeff, who's in the orange cap, was our master lake trout fisherman. I think we ended up with probably 40-some lake trout. Jay got a 12-pounder, and
I was the master lake trout fisherman.
Yeah, you're the master baiter. It's a 2,600 acre lake. As I'm videotaping, you can see almost basically to the end of it. It goes to a brook trout stream when it exits out. Had a very fun, myself personally had a very fun time there. I caught a lot of brook trout. Jeff caught some as well as Jay and as well as Steve. It goes up around the corner to end up there. One thing we found with the lake for us is it didn't produce a whole lot of walleye. We expected a little bit more, but it didn't produce the numbers. But I think it's a really good lake trout lake. We all believe there's probably some really huge lake trout in this lake. The Portage Lake, which if you go that end again of the lake, it goes out and around to the right. It opens up into a big basin, and the river coming into the lake, you have to go about a half-mile portage trail to a small lake there, which is just loaded with walleye and northerns, mostly walleye. We caught all of our walleye there that we wanted to eat in that lake. So it was a little tough if you're a little older on getting the boat in the water there. It's a little tough place where they have it, but for the most part it's a really fun lake to fish if you want to go catch a lot of walleyes. Real pretty area. They have solar panels for the lights at this. In front of the solar panel is a pump there that fills a gravity-filled water tank, and I'll show you that in a minute as I walk up the walk here. Again, there's an extra motors at the camp as well. Nice thing they have here is a big tank for gas, full of gas, and gravity fed. You open up the valve at the bottom, you can just fill up your gas tanks on the boats. Fish cleaning table here we used various times because like I said, we brought some walleye back from the Portage Lake to eat. And I'll walk up the dock here. The cabin is a really nice cabin, well taken care of. One thing I'll stand back and see if you can see it is, but there's a big radio tower here. One of the neat thing is they have a radio with other towers that reach them 70 miles away at Mattice Base, and you can actually radio in to Don and Annette Eliot and their helpers there, and they're really congenial. They'll answer the radio at any time of the hour. They'll answer your questions, give you flight times, let you know about the weather. You can order stuff. We'd ordered another loaf of bread and some toilet paper that we needed, and they flew that in on a check. So that was pretty cool. They have the place opened up here pretty good, so it's a nice yard to it as well. Good picnic bench, little fire ring area there, and they got a 1-station fish cooker. We didn't use it. We had some windy and rainy weather here the week we're here. We're here at the first week of August, and or sorry, the last week of August. I apologize. And so we're getting towards September here, and it's getting a little cooler up here too. So we had some rainy weather that we couldn't really use the fish cooker. They have a nice little deck here with a really brand new Broil King grill, which suited us fine. We made steaks on it, hot dogs on it, made some hors d'oeuvres on it as well too. Some nice plastic chairs that you could spread out on the deck. We had some nice evening setting out on this. Mosquitoes weren't awfully bad, I think, because of all the wind and stuff we had. They actually have a portage on here. It's dug in a hole in the ground just like an outhouse would be, but it's a portage on, and it's workable just like any other place. They don't have indoor facilities as far as toilets. They have a mud room at the cabin. Nice place to store all your rain gear, your tackle boxes, hang things up. They could use a few more hooks. That would be one suggestion I would have for them if they would ask me, is a few more hooks to hang things. Pot there for frying fish in. Nice propane gas freezer. And I tell you one thing I will give a thumbs up to Mattice is they are very generous on ice. Every time they fly in, when we flew in, they brought us to the lake, they just bring tons of ice. And it's clean ice. You could actually use it for fresh water if you just want to melt it to drink, or use it for making drinks, or we're using it now to take our frozen fish back. We have a couple folks taking fish back. So really nice tongue and groove pine on the camp. Good windows in the main camp. We didn't have a bug problem at all inside this camp. These are really good windows. It stayed warm in here. Really nice sized table. Camp's really good for 4 to 6 guys. I wouldn't go any more than that if you would ask my opinion on that. Older style wood burner, you had to fill it from the top. We had to use it a couple days. Did get kind of cool, but it worked. Gas stove with an oven, everything worked perfectly on that. Really good. We used that a lot to cook with. Nice countertops and cabinet space. Again, a few more hooks in the kitchen or another shelf would be kind of nice to be able to store some of your stuff. A little propane refrigerator that we kept our beer and all of our cold stuff in. But again, it was small, but we made it work. If you went with more people, it might be a little tight. The cabin, like I said, is not overly big, but it's perfect, like I said, for 4 to 6 guys. The batteries for the solar powered to put up the lights, and a charging station. This was really cool right here. I'll get a close-up of it, of the radio and the charging system. You can charge anything, your fish batteries, your laptop computer, your phones. This is the radio and the instructions to call into Mattice. And like I said, when we did, they responded and were quite congenial on the microphone to talk with us. Full-size mattress and a bunk bed above in this little room, and 2 full-size mattresses and 2 bunk beds in this room. And I'll turn the light on to show you the LED light. It really brightens things up in here quite well. And the cabin does have a shower with hot running water. I'll turn this on. There's the hot water tank and a shower. It would be really nice, good spacious shower, if it had a bathroom sink to it where you could shave or wash your face off. This cabin does not have that. We had to use the kitchen sink and the mirror that's hanging on the wall there for that purpose. But all in all, we had a blast here. We over time figured out how to catch the lake trout. They're not easy to catch, but we caught them in depths from anywhere from 50 to 90 feet of water. And we caught all species here. The lake trout, brook trout, walleye, northern pike, and the lake we found is loaded with perch. Nothing really big to kind of keep to eat, but there are a lot of perch here, which I think a lot of the game fish feed off of. So the cabin, like I said, is, I think, well taken care of. I'll walk over here and show you the water tank. It's gravity fed. Worked perfect for us. It's up there, probably a 500-gallon tank. Fills real quite easily. It only takes a few minutes to fill. We did it about every other day since we were taking showers and running the sink to wash dishes. Of course, the propanes, they're set up where if one goes empty, the other one turns on automatically. So a lot of that stuff we didn't have to fool with. Another thumbs up I'll give to them, the pilots who do fly in with Mattice, they are really very responsive to filling up the water tank, checking the propane tanks while they come in and drop you off. So they do a really good job of taking care of their customers. That's one thing I will give Mattice. It's the first time we ever used them as an outfitter, and I would recommend them to anybody. They got different lakes, smaller lakes with a lot of walleye and northerns in them. Like I said, we wanted a variety of species. We wanted to catch brook trout and lake trout and others, and we accomplished that. So all in all, it was a good trip for being in late August, and we're getting ourselves set to go back home. So if you have any questions on anything, I'll put this on YouTube and you guys can question me on it.